Meg.
Hey, what's going on, Lean? From Philly.
From Philly. And we are here to tell your story. Now, I'm very intrigued by you.
Really?
Yes, you are a very busy man. And when I mean busy, I mean busy. Like you have, I'm joking, but you have like 16 businesses. You understand? And you run them efficiently, strategically. And I just want to know how.
How?
How do you schedule? Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to cut you off, but you work for Water Department.
Right.
Okay, and you have Herbalife.
Right.
And you have a King's Cafe.
Right.
That's a lot. A nightclub, a health fitness situation, and a city job.
Right.
First question is why you still got the city job?
City job, it gets me out of bed, right? City job
Discipline.
is my why, right?
Your why.
I had a few mentors and they always told me to get a why. And in the beginning, I was making my kids my why, right?
Right.
But it wasn't making me move, if you get what I'm saying.
I understand.
Because my kids didn't really want for nothing. Like they was smiling, they was happy, I was taking care of everything. So it was just like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't making me get off my ass and move, you know what I mean? What happened for me was when I got the city job, everybody glorifies a city job.
Mm-hmm.
So this why
Benefits
the city job actually became my why is because they was like, oh, you're going to have amazing benefits, pension plan, retirement plan, yada, 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 on
Safe.
and on. Safe things, right? And I was like, all right, cool, sounds good, I'm with it. But when I got in there, I actually seen people fist fighting over overtime, right?
Okay.
Backbiting, right? For each other's livelihood. People borrowing money on payday, right? Because I don't know about you, but I realized in that moment that the worst thing I ever did for money was wait 2 weeks to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Because that off pay week, I know for sure myself, I risked my life, my freedom, and my integrity just to make ends meet. Right? So this is how the city job became my why, because I watched 9 people retire after 40 years of service, and 5 of them didn't make it past 3 years in their retirement. And I was like, this is what people are glorifying a city job for, right? And it was just one of those things where I wanted something else for myself, right? Didn't know what it was going to be. I dibbled and dabbled in a lot of things, tried different things, put myself in night school to get a trade under my belt, because I was one of those guys that thought I needed more money, I gotta work more man hours, or I gotta get another job, or I gotta work more hours to do it. And it wasn't until I realized that, like most of us already know, there's only 24 hours in a day, so that maxes out fast, right? And I was realizing that I didn't have time for anything. You know what I mean? I was working overtime. I was doing everything. I was on schedule. I was on point, and all the money that I was making, I had to be there to make it. So that's when I started to realize that I'm burning myself out, basically. Burning myself out.
And you don't want to do this till you're like 50, 60.
Yeah, and that was like breaking down every relationship in my life. I didn't understand it because I was the financial guy. I show up financially for everything and everybody. But my relationships was shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? My relationships was shit, and I didn't realize it. I didn't know why. I show up for y'all, why y'all not why it's not, you know, reciprocated, but I didn't understand, right? I didn't understand in that moment. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And I just thought, like, I wanted to feel better. So that's when I looked to working out, you know what I mean? Because I was probably getting about 3 hours of sleep a day, you know what I mean? Partying, club promoter, working full time for the city, dibbling and dabbling in the streets. And I was in night school to get a trade under my belt, because I figured if I get a trade under my belt, I'll have something, make more money at, in the positions at my job and things like that. As an electrician, I went to school for electrician. And
so you tried a lot.
Yeah, so I'm like, just trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure life out, period. And then not realizing, and then what made me realize, like, it was 3 different instances with my kids. I said, one instance, it was more so like my kids would ask me to go on field trips, and before I would even answer, they would be like, "Oh, you probably got work." I'm like, "Dad, you didn't even give me a chance." You know what I mean? You didn't give me a chance. And then there was another instance. My kids I had 3 kids at the time. I got 5 now, but they was in all different parts of the city, right? Downtown. One of my kids went to school downtown, Bala Kenwood, and then Chestnut Hill. So I had to put together a plan to get off work, shoot downtown, shoot to Bala Kenwood, and then shoot to Chestnut Hill to pick all my kids up. My oldest son went to Chestnut Hill. But I remember, even though that was my oldest son, I sacrificed him to sit outside for about 20 minutes waiting for me to get there. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of those things, like, I remember pulling up, and I remember I'm making faces like,
gotta figure this out.
Like, lay it again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta figure, like, I'm like, this ain't how it's supposed to go. And I remember collecting them all one day, getting them all together, rushing home to take a nap, because I had to be to night school within the next 2 hours. So it was like, boom, I remember laying on the couch, and my 2 youngest kids at the time, my oldest son, and they was jumping around the house. I mean, swinging from the ceiling fan, jumping, boom, bang, boom. They woke me up. I jumped up like a madman.
Okay.
And I remember cursing my kids out like they was some stranger on the street. And it hit me to my heart, because both of my youngest kids, like, on cue, was just like, "Dad, you're mean." I was like, I know I'm supposed to have these kids at the playground somewhere. But me making all the sacrifices, being selfish, I got them in the house, you know what I mean? They just exerting their energy being kids, you know what I mean? But that shouldn't have triggered me to the point where I was like
cussing them out like
cussing my kids out like adults, like, you know what I mean? And that kind of hurt me.
Yeah.
And then it was the last instance was, I remember getting in the shower one day. I got out the shower. I had like $30 in ones on the dresser. I remember I had like $30 in ones on the dresser. When I got out the shower, came back in the room, my 2 youngest kids was throwing the money on the bed, and they was like, "We rich." And I was
like, not my last.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like, I had the concept of like they don't get the concept of $1, and I'm out here chasing, breaking my neck for this dollar.
Right.
And they don't even understand the concept of $1, but they understand the concept of time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because it was hurting them when I wasn't showing up for things for them, or couldn't make it to the field trips and things like that because I was working. And when they started to understand that started to get to me like, dang, you know what I mean? Like, I'm killing these relationships, and I didn't even understand it. Even when their moms was saying about it, like, you know what I mean? It was just like, I still didn't get it. I would argue with them. Oh, I'm taking care of this. Oh, you putting them in spaceship class. I'm buying the spaceship. What's the problem? And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
the time.
Yeah, and it was more so the time. And I just couldn't figure out the time because I didn't understand things like residual income and things like that. And what happened for me was I just wanted to feel better. Right. And I started working out. Didn't know nothing about nutrition or anything like that. I just felt like, you know, if I just take an hour out of a week to feel better and working out, I'll be good. But what happened for me was I started working out, and I kind of fell in love with it because the first time that I went and worked out, we ran. Right. We ran Valley Green trails, and it was like more so one of those things where it was like, hated the run.
But afterwards?
During, though, I was loving the conversations that I was having with myself. I never took that much time to have a conversation with myself. You know what I mean? To push myself. And my brain, I'm always busy, so my brain was always focused on something else or getting something else done. So in that run, I fell in love with the conversations I was having with myself. The way I was pushing myself. The way I was like, man, I can't quit. Right? Man, I gotta get back to my car. Like I'm 2 miles out. It's getting dark. I got one objective to get back. You know what I mean? I gotta get back as quick as possible. But all those conversations, it just made me show up again. Like, all right, this is gonna be my me time. Whatever this hour or 2 hours is of just working out. And that's all working out was for me at the time.
Can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
Let me be honest. Last time we talked, I was 165. Right. Watching you, because I used to say, I'm not getting in the gym doing all that shit. I'm not doing it. That's too much. Right. Right? Mm-hmm. So, we was talking about the runs, and I was like, it's too cold. I see you in the summertime. Right. Get a little warm. But then I was like, I couldn't bend down. I couldn't do housework and all that. And I'm still watching you. Like, but this nigga keep going. Like, I don't understand this. So I'm like, I'm going to try it because of you. Right. So I went in the gym. Nice. Now, let's relate. So now I'm in the gym on the treadmill. I started off, but the conversations with myself. I'm like, I said I'm going to do 5 days a week. Right. I'm like, damn, how am I just start doing 5 days a week out of nowhere? The mindset was, after I did the first time, it made me feel so good. Like, I felt so energized when I walked. So I dropped my daughter off to school because I know if I go back in the house, I am not coming back out. Right. So I drop her off at school, go straight to the gym. And when I walk out the gym, it's like, what is we doing today? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that?
A routine.
Yeah, and then it became a routine, and
routine turned into discipline.
It turned into discipline, and it turned into making more moves and waking up early, and my son watching me. He's learning from what is it called? Through watching me, just watching me. So right. That made me keep going, and I lost 20 pounds, and my business is growing, and that working out, the mind, that clears your mind. Like
that really makes me proud to hear that, because a lot of people don't understand sometimes. Like, when you don't feel good, nothing around you feel good, and it's like how you do anything is how you do everything. Yes. Yeah, and even with our kids, they don't naturally listen to us, but they pick up on the routines that we're doing in front of us.
I was just telling James, my son, I was telling him, come to the gym with me. He was like, no, my dad said I can do push-ups in my room. I was like, but just come out the house and, right. Put yourself in the environment and get out. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't do it. So I said, all right, I'm not going to push you. Right. So when I did it, probably like 2 months in, maybe a month, he seen me doing it, and right. He started doing it, and he started going every day.
Nice. Oh, yep. Well, people love to see results.
Yeah, he started
good
seeing
results.
The weight.
You feel what I'm saying? And especially with black people, like we always programmed to feel like, hey, that shit ain't gonna work for me. It ain't gonna da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. Like, no, if you try that shit, watch you see some good results, and you're gonna be like, you feel what I'm saying?
Through example.
Become addictive. Like, once you start getting results, it become addictive. Yes. And that's just one of those things.
That feel good feeling that when you walk out the gym and you like, I'm trying to tell you, I feel like Wonder Woman. Like, look, I'm trying to build a house today. What you trying to do? Yeah. Like, I got addicted to that.
Yeah, that's a good feeling to have, because you start to get things done. You know what I mean? You get out the house.
Execute. I was executing everything on that to-do list. And I even became a 5 o'clock in the morning person. I never thought.
And it's no more like I'll do it tomorrow.
I'll be like, it's still dark. You crazy. That used to be me.
It's no more getting it done tomorrow. Everything is like, what I got to do today. I got the energy to do it. Yeah. Push it, right?
I love it.
And that's just, one of those things, man. It's one of those things.
Right. So what I also wanted to know was, Well, you're talking about everything, the night runs and everything. But okay, King's Cafe.
Right.
So you're back to your 16 jobs, businesses. You run these businesses. I'm pretty sure you go through obstacles, hard times. But how do you handle, like, if something's going on at King's Cafe and you gotta be at Herbalife and your job won't give you time off and your kid broke his foot?
Right.
This is what I'm thinking about you. Like, how do he navigate that? How do he?
So, before I even thought about, having multiple businesses or thinking that I was, able to do so, I was just one of those people that just like, I play my position
Okay.
to the fullest. Like, I don't really focus on my weaknesses too much because I don't have to, because I got strengths and I got other people. Team. That's strong at what I'm not strong at, and I let them do them.
You not trying to be that.
I don't care who gets the credit. Yeah,
right.
Like, I don't really care who gets the credit for it.
That's what I said today.
Yeah, and it's like,
that's me.
And it's like you gotta look at the body, right? The human body, right? It's like it's so many parts to the human body, but each of them are important.
Yes.
I could be the pinky toe for in the business. I know we gonna get around with a cool walk.
I don't need my pinky toe.
Yeah, and we ain't gonna walk with a limp if I'm the pinky toe. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get things done. Like, I don't have to be the head. I don't have to be the brain. I let everybody play their position. Sometimes people don't understand that because they like, everybody wants to be in the forefront. They want to focus on their weaknesses, and it's just like some people weaknesses is just like you drain your power focusing on your weaknesses. A lot of people be like, but I gotta get it together first. And it's like,
I used to say that.
And it's like, how long is it gonna take you to get that together? Like, you're weak at that.
Right. And
you're not trying to bring anybody else in on that.
Until I realized that, like you said, my model Diamond, she young, and I thought like I don't know, whatever. She's very smart.
Right.
Very smart. And she was like, Mo, you have a team.
Right.
Your weakness is you don't do social media.
Let somebody
Get
do
somebody to do it on a team.
Simple.
You are the planner. You coordinate. You do this. You do that. He do the photography, the editing. Yeah. So I had to realize my weaknesses, but realizing your weaknesses is a strength because you gotta, admit to yourself like, no, I'm weak in this area, so I need help.
It helps you with delegating, and it helps you.
And I don't micromanage. If I trust you, I'll
break that down. You know what I mean? Break that pride down and be able to put people in position as well.
And I always tell my team, I want us to win. It's not about me because I can't do this by myself.
Right. And as a leader.
And I don't want to.
And as a leader, when you put people in their proper positions,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wins.
And open new doors for them. And
open new doors for a lot of people.
Yeah, I love it.
And everybody get to focus on what they love to do. So it's like, if you love to do this, and you don't have nowhere, like you do this like it's nothing, what's the problem? I don't have to focus on that.
And
we'll meet at the table when we meet at the table. You know what I mean?
Strong together.
And if I'm watching, I'm learning from you. You know what I mean? It's no little eyes and big U's. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I know how to do little stuff from watching. I know how to post.
That's what I'm saying.
And add a text.
Yeah.
Maybe
and you picked all of that up just from watching.
Yeah, maybe some glitter or something. I learned that. But I don't know how to make it turn. He does that. But yeah, I love that. So what else I wanted to ask you? So the question the last question I wanted to ask you was, through all these businesses, I know you went through fear, anxiety, and overwhelm.
Right.
Overwhelm. How did you get through that?
So with me, I'll do something physically I think is impossible for me, and it translates into all areas of my life. Like I don't come from no athlete background or nothing like that. Right. So when I started, getting in shape and stuff like that, like I would come up with these big challenges for myself when I feel stuck or when I got something come up and I got the fear or the anxiety. And I'll do something like a triathlon, which is a race where you swim, run, and bike all in the same race, right?
You go all out.
Yeah, or I'll do a marathon, which is 26.2 miles. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And once I conquer those fears, and I didn't die physically or kill myself physically. Okay. Sometimes simply my fear and anxiety of starting these businesses or going into these businesses is just simply getting the knowledge.
Right.
Getting the numbers. Preparation, just showing up for it. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I ain't died doing this physically, I can make the phone call to get the knowledge. I can make the phone call to find out what I need to do to start this business, or you know what I mean. I can start tapping into my relationships or people that I know who's accomplished this already, and ask questions and drop my pride if I ain't, you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So whatever you fear, I feel as though if it's something that you really strongly want to do, just go and get the information and find out if it's for you. Educate yourself and just go. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to have all your ducks in order. I promise you, everything will fall into place. Everything falls into place when you move in that way. Mm-hmm. Everything falls into place. Sometimes I surprise myself when it's like how I just manifest things. Sometimes I just get up in the morning and just say it multiple times, or you know what I mean? Write it down, put it on a piece of paper, cut it out of a magazine, put it on a cardboard, and it just happens.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's just at the forefront. It's just one of those things. So.
Okay. I agree.
If you fear something, just do it scared. Whatever you want to do it scared.
I've been doing it scared. Yes.
Do it scared.
Overcome.
Do it scared. Definitely.
So what would you tell the up and coming, the person that want to start a business but is going through anxiety and fear?
I would tell them to get the information, find like-minded people that's doing it, get in those rooms, have those conversations, because it's naturally not going to be the people that you're around right now or your family that's going to support you on taking that on. So you got to get around the people that's actually doing it to cure that anxiety, because you need to have that conversation. The people that you've been around, they love you. Yeah. So they're going to try to stop you from getting hurt. It may be scary to them too, so they're going to tell you, or give you doubts.
Yeah.
And place their fear, and place their fears on you.
Put that in my head.
But you need to get around the people that's actually doing it or have done it, to have an empowering conversation and push you forward to go and actually do it. Right. It ain't actually going to be the people that you love or been around, because they're going to project that fear on you. Yeah. And it's just manifestation. Once they pump that fear on you, or once they speak down on it, it's not. Right. It's naturally not. You're not going to move on it. Right. So I would just tell them to get in the right rooms, and have those conversations with the right people. Strangers or not.
Okay. I mean, it was great having you here. Like, you dropped a lot of gems. I can't wait to see this interview.
Oh, man.
I cannot wait to see this interview. You educated me a whole lot.
Right.
Because I want to own multiple businesses. But I'm a little overwhelmed with that thought. But
you're a leader. All you gotta do is just delegate.
Yeah.
Put the right people in a position to run it, and run it like it's theirs.
Yep. So, hi Kima. We have to say hi to you.
Hey Kima.
Yeah. So thanks for coming to MK Med.
No doubt.
And throw out your tags and stuff.
To follow me on Instagram at Leemo24Fit, LEEMO24Fit, and on Facebook, Lean Philly, and the restaurant page is A King's Cafe 218.
218. Okay. All right.